Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Teens Biz Talk Podcast. We are so excited that you are here with us today. We have an amazing guest who is going to share some amazing things with you. And I can tell you, just from what I've been seeing of her work on social media, you are going to leave this episode just feeling much better than you were when you first started. I already know. I already know. So today's episode is being sponsored by Bateman Empowering Educators. At Bateman Empowering Educators, we take away the trial and error method of your teenager learning about money and equip them with a practical blueprint for them to create a five-star financial future. So make sure you check down below for our link, for our email, so you can find out just kind of what we have going on. All right. And also, if this is your first time here, why, hello and welcome. And if you are a returning listener, hey, it's good to see you again. Either way, make sure that you like and subscribe so you do not miss not one of our wonderful teenpreneurs that come through and talk to us. Okay, so let's get started. Today, y'all, we have with us Miss Lena Ford. Miss Lena Ford is an author, philanthropist, entrepreneur. Whoa, man, we are so excited to have you here with us today. Hi, Lena.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Sure, sure. So I kind of just started with the accolades of all these things about you. Why don't you just tell us, though, a little bit more maybe about each one of those, an author, philanthropist, entrepreneur.
Yes, so hi, of course, my name is Lena Ford. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. As you already said, I'm an entrepreneur. I have a business called Positively Lena, where I help, where I sell products with positive words and positive phrases in order to provide positivity for someone to just look at that's right in front of them.
Okay.
On the philanthropist side, I do a lot of work in the community. I am a Giving Tuesday Spark leader, which is where we host different events in our communities all over the world, really. Um, so that's one way I'm a philanthropist. I also have a nonprofit. I also have a nonprofit called Kinship Family Initiatives, where we help kids in foster homes
Mm-hmm.
and homelessness. And we also help families in kinship care, which means an adult relative is taking care of a child relative. Some of our events are different kind of drives or birthday boxes where we provide birthday cake mix and even other treats. So the adult can make something for the child, just for their birthday, for just a special treat.
That sounds great. Birthday boxes. I like that idea. Now, when you do these things, and congratulations on being a Giving Tuesday Spark leader. That is awesome. How do you engage other people to help you with these missions?
It really comes from social media. When we post stuff, a lot of people like it and they share it. So that's how we really get the word out. And when it comes back to engaging in our community, we have some, I guess you could say, pretty close ties with some people that help us out with the events, whether it's a place to host the event, just getting the word out. And people are like, oh, okay, well, that's something cool to do, especially since I'm a youth, especially since I'm a younger person.
Mhm.
Uh, People want to come out and support younger people who are doing amazing things in the world, or even if it's just like their first event they're hosting, people want to provide them a good experience as well, as much as we want to provide a good experience.
That, that is awesome. So, in the midst of you providing positivity to other people, what are some things that keep you motivated?
I think what really keeps me motivated is having people out there that I do inspire and that I know I inspire them, because I think it's really important to have a role model, and I'd love to be somebody's role model. And that's really what keeps me going and keeps me positive, is knowing that I'm inspiring others.
That is great. We definitely need a lot of, or much more positivity in our world, in our society. We definitely need more people like you that we know we can depend on, right? That is the type of energy, that is the type of message that you're putting out there. So thank you very, very much for that. So in the midst of all that you do, I would imagine you're pretty busy, right? And so, how do you best manage your time to be able to do all of these particular things in the community regarding outreach, to be able to do your actual business, school, you've got family, friends, you have to sleep. Like, how do you manage your time to get all this done?
I honestly have a set time for everything, whether it's school, my business, family time. I try to have a set time for everything. So I think normally, since I'm homeschooled now, it's been easier for me to manage my time. So set time for school. Then I have normally after school, I start working on my business stuff and get posts out for the week. And then afterwards, we have family time. Since both of my parents work full-time jobs, they come home probably like in the afternoonish time. So I have more time after I'm done with everything to spend time with them after.
Wow, that is great. Very good. So, something else I'm just wondering, I know it's different for different generations, and certainly with the COVID and the pandemic, it's just changed a lot of the way that we interact with each other. So, what do you do in terms of networking, right? So, you mentioned using social media to get the word out about the different things that you do. But what are some other ways maybe you can recommend for other teen entrepreneurs of how they can be proactive and do effective networking?
Honestly, if you go to different events, whether it's to vend or just to meet people, that's a great way to network. That's how I've met a lot of my friends and just people I like to do collabs with or work with, is from vendor events. And I think it's mostly really just vendor events, honestly. That's how I
Okay,
connect with people, different Zooms, like you can join different groups. They have Zoom sometime. You can join some of those and make connections as well.
right. So outside of all of this that we've talked about, what are some other hobbies that you enjoy?
I love art like a lot, which is also why I started Positively Lena, because I wanted art and fashion, and I enjoy art. I like to paint. I really love to paint, drawing. I like to cook as well. And I think that's really all I enjoy
Okay.
outside of entrepreneurship.
Awesome. That is great. So, with all the time, and before I jump on to my next question, let me just mention, because this is a podcast about teen entrepreneurs. How old are you, Lena?
I'm 13.
13. So, in the midst of the time that you have been in business, could you share what is maybe the best advice that you've ever received? And then the worst advice where you were just like, you can keep that.
I think the best advice I received probably is always have good customer service, which is advice I normally give out as well, is to just have good customer service, always be nice to your customers. Um, because I have a mentor, she owns a bookshop, a bookstore now, but I she's a really big inspiration to me. And I know something that she's always saying is to have good customer service and to always be nice to your customers. For me, I know sometimes people repeat certain things so many times. It can get a little frustrating, but I have to remember to always be nice to my customers. And the worst piece of advice I've ever gotten. Um, I honestly think it's when people come to your stand, they look at your products and they say like a quote or something. I don't think I would remember that quote, but like unless I write it down.
Okay.
So that's probably something, I guess it's not really advice, but it kind of is depending on what the quote is.
So it's like they're trying to give you, oh, you should use this.
Yes,
And if it doesn't stick with you or doesn't fit into just the energy or the communication that you're trying to share, kind of
right.
pull out of your okay. All right. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So, what advice might you have for maybe there's a teenager that's listening now and they're like, I think I want to start my own business, but I'm not sure. Seems like being a business for yourself is hard. Or, I'm young. I don't know if people are going to take me seriously. What is some advice that you may want to give to them?
Find something that you enjoy. That's very important because you'll do it in the long run and you will not get bored of it. And also, while finding something that you enjoy, try to find different ways you can branch that out. I knew I enjoyed fashion art, literacy. So for me, I knew keychains was a good way to go because I can add words, I can be like decorative, do art, but also with that I can make shirts and all different kind of stuff with all of that. So just find something that you enjoy and a way you can branch it out.
Okay. That is great advice. Thank you for that. One more question. If you could sit down with anyone, whether they are alive or they have passed, who would it be and why?
Um, For me, it would be my granny because all of the stuff that I've done since she did pass away in 2019, I would love for me to actually like sit down and talk to her about it. Although I know she's watching me, I know she sees all the stuff I'm doing, but just to sit down and talk to her about it would be really cool.
That is wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us. So, is there anything that we haven't talked about? I know we talked about quite a few things, but is there anything that we haven't talked about that you would like to share with the audience?
Something I forgot to mention was, of course, I'm an author and I have the book called I Love Me and That's Okay. It's about a little girl named Indy and her friends. They're getting bullied by a girl named Sandra, and they have to find a way to stay positive about it.
Awesome. I love me, and that's okay.
Yes.
All right. And if anyone is listening and they want to purchase that or any of the other wonderful items that you have, how can they do that? And how can they just connect with you to keep up with all the wonderful things you're doing?
You can connect with me on Instagram and Facebook at Posviolina. My website is www.posviolina.com. And if you want to purchase my book, you can purchase it on my website or on Amazon.
Good. Sounds good. So, thank you so much again, Lena, for taking time to talk with us, to share with us, to give us some great advice just about ways of how we can be better, how we can grow in business, and also just how we can grow as people.
Thank you.
Was great. Thank you so much. And for everyone, the same way that I love to close out my podcast episodes, I want you to remember everything in creation was created with a gift inside of it. That includes you. So go out and share your gift with the world. Until next time.